Greetings, hello, and welcome to my next podcast episode, my Pilgrim of the Path podcasts. My name is Thomas. I'm a holistic practitioner. I use sound therapy, yoga, meditation, mindful breathing, all different modalities just to bring people closer to their inner self, inner stillness, and that guidance that's within us all. So, today I would like to just share something with you that came up this morning. But before that, I hope are well and enjoying this time of transition between the seasons. Here in the southern hemisphere, we are experiencing autumn as we are getting closer to the winter season. And the northern hemisphere, I'm sure you are enjoying the brightness and the springiness of spring season around the corner. So, whether you are experiencing spring or whether you are experiencing autumn, I'm sure this message will resonate with you wherever you are. So it's a universal message. And you know, I think and a lot of people have spoken about, releasing and letting go, but I want to get a little bit more specific here. We are actually connected through threads, energetic cords. And so these connections can either be events, places, situations, or people, past experiences, like for instance, with situations or events, that expected outcomes you have, that's already a chord. That's that energetic chord that you are creating because you are attaching yourself to a certain to a situation. Where does your energy goes, and where do you place your energy? Um, if you find yourself feeling drained, tired, or unsettled, this is a moment for you to pause. This is where your reflection and contemplation comes in. You can ask yourself the questions: is there someone that you cannot stop thinking about? Or is there a situation you are holding on to, or an outcome you are trying to control? First of all, I mean, you can ask the question, is it really in your control? Does it help you worrying about something? Um, so there's so many questions one can ask. I mean, if, like I asked the question, is there someone you cannot stop thinking about? Then the questions you can, because this is where it becomes personal, then you can start asking yourself questions. Why is that someone in your mind so much? Is there maybe an unresolved issue, or all of those things? Then you can start asking, and that's why I said to contemplate and reflect, because this is a very deep inner work. Well, this is the start of that deep inner work within you. So you can gently ask yourself, what is mine to hold and what is not? Does it help me worrying about this, or is it worth creating stress and anxiety over? What exactly is going on here? Because this is not about, being selfish and cutting yourself off from circumstances or life. It's just about discernment, about self respect, and returning to yourself, self love, self care. That's what it's all about. And so, as I said, here is where the real work starts. And it's not analyzing or evaluating. No, 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 no. We are not trying to uh, that's, how can I put this? This is very technical terms and very left brain. Here we are dealing with deeper stuff, emotions, things that you can't really figure out on paper. It's more emotional and mental work, meditation, and deep spiritual work. Why I am saying reflecting and contemplation, because that immediately brings the sense of being still and really be with that thought or emotion and take a step back and observe, become neutral, become simply observing, and ask yourself the question, what is here that I need to learn or take from, for your own growth? And sometimes it is simply an invitation for you to release. And sometimes it can get very overwhelming. But here's the thing, you don't have to do this alone. There is a deeper intelligence, a guiding presence. So you may call it the divine source, universe, God, or something else. And that is always available to you. But it requires your willingness to soften, to listen, and to allow, not being stubborn and let the ego take over. But this is for you to actually, yeah, sit down and listen, be quiet, be still. Because when we do not tend to these inner spaces, right? If you don't, and again, this is an invitation. I'm not saying you have to do this. The choice is always yours. But the if we don't tend to these, mm, to this inner work, to these inner spaces of this in inner inner realms, if I can put it that way, we slowly lose clarity and being objective and looking at things from a distance. We drift from ourselves. We start to be disconnected from our path, our truth, our dharma, our light, our purpose in life. So, and you know what? And as each of us does this work quietly in the background, but honestly and truthful, it ripples out. It ripples outward into a world that at this stage feels very overwhelming and can feel very chaotic. So this is how light grows. And it's not all at once, but through each of us choosing awareness again and again, trying again and again. We fall, we get up, we walk on, we follow the path. So that's my invitation for you today. I hope it lands well. And on another note, I'm happy to share a small milestone from my side. So today, yes, today, I have completed and edited uh, the first four books of mindful, of first four of my mindful children's books. I'm still working on the illustrations, but from the text and the story side, it is there, and I've actually stopped editing it because it was getting a bit too much. So anyway, yeah, so the first four books, and they are called, the first one is Mother Earth's Sparkles. The Gifts of Earth and Water. The second book is Mother Earth Sparkles, The Gift of Sun, Wind, and Sky. The third one is The Kindness Garden, a story about kindness, connection, and the magic we create together. And then my book four is The Sparkle Jar and Kira, a story about a story of finding magic in what we have and letting our inner sparkles glow, not grow, glow, sorry. So yes, I will, sure, I will update you as the weeks go by and as the projects, how can I say, mature. Absolutely. But I look forward to connect with you again next week. So in the meantime, may your path be guided and steady, and may your light shine brightly. And when I wrote these words, I immediately thought of the song, This Little Light of Mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. So, as you think of this, just have that song in the back of your mind and sing it anytime you feel heavy or when things start to how can I say, when things start to not looking so great, just start singing and I'm sure you will feel much better in a few seconds. Just sing and dance and be happy. Be kind to yourself and everybody around you. Namaste.